Volkswagen has reimagined what its Golf family hatchback should be, this 8th generation model packaged very differently from its predecessor. Under the skin, hybrid engineering is prevalent further up the range, but for potential buyers, what will probably matter most is the more distinctive look and the classy, minimalist, digitalised cabin. Loyal Golf owners will find lots to like here.
On the move, Golf regulars will certainly feel right at home with it. As ever, there's a real polish to this car, not only in the way it's built and the way it looks, but also in the way it drives. Get used to this current design and you'll find that, as with its predecessor, progress can be effortless thanks to a combination of stability, poise and control that makes journey times shrink rapidly. Superb refinement helps here too, something that's particularly marked out the Golf ever since it was mated to the VW Group's rigidly sophisticated MQB platform. After using this car, a drive in an ordinary rival mainstream Focus Class family hatch can seem so noisy. That refinement will be evident whichever power plant you choose. As before, only those units developing 150 PS or more entitle your Golf to be fitted with properly sophisticated multi-link rear suspension. Otherwise, you'll have a cruder torsion beam setup. The mainstream TSI petrol range is still built around 1 litre and 1.5 litre units. The 3-cylinder 1 litre version gets 110 PS, and the 4-cylinder 1.5 is offered in either 130 PS guise or in the 150 PS form that I'm trying today. The more powerful version also available, provided you specify a DSG Auto gearbox, with the option of Volkswagen's mild hybrid e-TSI tech. In that form, it returns WLTP rated figures of up to 49.2 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle and up to 130 grams per kilometre of CO2. The technology equating, so Volkswagen claims, to efficiency gains of up to 17%. Talking of electrification, there's no full battery-powered e-Golf available these days. VW's futuristic ID3 hatch has taken up that baton, but TDI diesel variants continue, these now exclusively being of the 2-litre variety, with a mainstream choice of 115 or 150 PS outputs. Across the lineup, lower-powered engines are manual. The fastest ones tend to only use the brand's 7-speed DSG Auto gearbox, and in the middle of the range, you'll have the option of either. So far, so familiar, yet progress has also been made with this 8th generation design. This car does more than just drive like a Golf. Turns sharply into a bend, and if you happen to be familiar with the previous Mark 7 version, you'll notice that this Golf 8 responds a little more directly, especially in the first few degrees of lock. So its reactions feel fractionally faster, allowing you to more confidently place it at corner entry, helped by the standard XDS torque vectoring system. If you pay the extra for the brand's improved DCC Dynamic Chassis Control Adaptive Damping setup, you'll benefit from a new Driving Dynamics Manager system that coordinates the DCC damping with the XDS torque vectoring, so as to always allow your Golf to select precisely the right control system at the right time for any driving manoeuvre. What else? Well, there are more sophisticated Golf variants if you've the money to fund them. There's the GTE plug-in hybrid, which uses a 1.4 litre TSI petrol engine mated to a 6-speed DSG Auto gearbox, along with an 85 kilowatt electric motor powered by a now much larger lithium-ion battery that allows for an all-electric driving range of up to 36 miles. The GTE's total output is 245 PS, which, possibly not coincidentally, is the same as that boasted by the 8th generation Golf GTI hot hatch, which, as ever, uses a conventional 2-litre TSI petrol turbo unit, an engine also available in uprated 330 PS form in the top Golf R Super Hatch, which has standard 4-motion 4-wheel drive. Completing the range of further Golf options, there's the GTD, an auto-only diesel hot hatch variant with a GTI-style handling setup that uses the 2-litre TDI engine in a 200 PS state of tune. Across the range, there's a clever new travel assist system, which is either standard or optional depending on the trim level you select, and enables partially assisted so-called Level 2 autonomous driving thanks to use of the standard adaptive cruise control and lane assist systems. The previous generation model had a traffic jam assist setup that could enable it to do this kind of thing in low-speed traffic queues. But with travel assist, autonomous driving will work at speeds of up to 130 miles an hour, provided that your hands are firmly on the wheel. The Golf has always been one of those cars that almost everyone recognises. That should continue with this 8th generation version, but you certainly know in advance that it was a slightly more progressive interpretation of a classic theme, an indicator of the present, according to head of Volkswagen Group Design Klaus Bischoff. The silhouette here seems a little more stretched and dynamic than before, but actually the compact dimensions aren't that much different to those of the previous generation model, though it is 26mm longer. The main talking point, though, is the way the designers have changed the front end, with its lower nose and slimmer grille flanked by full LED headlights. At the back, there's the same clean, sharp finishing that's always pleased Golf customers, but perhaps more of a chiselled look this time round, with wide LED tail lamp clusters and a more sculpted bumper arrangement, disguising the fact that this 8th generation model is 10mm narrower and sits 36mm lower than its predecessor. Behind the wheel, you may be reassured to hear that the quality on offer is satisfyingly Golf-like. The classy full-width strip of vents we first saw in the Mark 8 Passat embellishes the mid-level of the fascia, below a smart trim-dependent decor strip. Ambient multicoloured lighting is now standard, and the lower centre console's now much wider, delivering something of the feel of a larger, more expensive car. The big news here is this cabin's so-called digital revolution. This Mark 8 Golf's InnoVision cabin concept, seeing a 10-inch Discover Media Navigation Centre Dash touchscreen matched with a digital Cockpit Pro instrument binnacle display of the same size. Now, conventional switches have been replaced by capacitive touch buttons, and there's a clever new optional Hello Volkswagen intuitive voice control system.
What would you like to do?
Thank you. If you were waiting for the Golf of the future, here it is. Let's take a seat in the rear. Thanks to the extra 16mm of length between the wheels with this Mark 8 design, there's a fraction more legroom than there was before. So a pair of 6-foot adults could now be accommodated reasonably here, providing front seat occupants don't slide their seats fully back. Let's finish this segment by taking a look in the boot, the catch for which, as usual, is activated by pushing this centre tailgate badge. Your Volkswagen salesperson may well be keen to reference the fact that the 381-litre space provided here is 40 litres more than you get in a rival Ford Focus. Pushing forward the conventional 60-40 split rear bench that you do get frees up 1,237 litres of space across a load area that'll be virtually flat if you have the boot floor in its upper position. More youthful and contemporary this Mark 8 Golf might be, but it's still very much a Golf, though quite a different kind of one. Where the old Mark 7 version of this design was radical in its engineering but conservative in its packaging, this 8th generation interpretation of this enduring model line is, to some extent, the precise opposite. Fortunately, though, for Volkswagen, the result turns out to be a very complete package. All of which means that this is still, as a Golf always should be, a benchmark in its segment, a car that must feature highly on any family hatch buyer's shopping list. In short, this is still a Golf, with all the model line heritage, depth of engineering and inherent quality that this badge has come to represent. So nothing's really changed, even if everything seems different.